just come back from the cafe, and I was there, and it's my local, well, it used to be my local until I shifted, and I was in there, and there's this grumpy old man. He was sitting there and he was whinging about his coffee being too hot, the chair he was sitting on was too hard. He was whinging about the prices of the coffee, and I go, what a whinging old prick. And then my coffee came, and then I sent it back because it was too hot. It's weird as we get older. It's really weird, and I'm struggling with it. Like today, I had to go into my sexual nurse after my prostate surgery, and this was about getting an erection, which I'm struggling to. I have no problems when it comes to containing my bladder, so no leakage at all, but having erectile dysfunction, which is quite common when you've had your prostate removed. I read the report, and they were able to keep all the nerves on one side, but some of the nerves had to be cut and removed when they removed the prostate. That's where the side where the main cancer was on. So I was sitting there, hands are all clammy, and then they were telling me where I was in the situation with the grading of my cancer, and I go for a blood test on the 21st, but she said I'm in the 95% success rate, so I should be alright. But then I said to her, I says, would you like to be on a plane and the pilot says to you, you know, you've got a 95% chance of landing in Melbourne or LA, wherever you are. So there is that little bit of doubt there, but I can't do anything about it. Getting older, I've realised everything's hurting. Playing sport when you're younger doesn't help. So at the very moment, when I got told I had prostate cancer, told to get fit, and for 2 days I went on the treadmill. I was running with a weighted jacket on, and I hurt my knee, and that was in November, and I haven't been able to run since, and it really hurts walking. So my knee hurts. When last week I was leaning over to brush my teeth, and then I put pressure on my sciatic nerve, so I had to go to the chiropractor to get that fixed, have that looked at. I also have a disc replaced in my neck, C5, C6, hopefully I'm the right one, and I have to get that operated on next year, and I have to get that fused because 1 in 3 of the replacement discs were faulty, and I was the unlucky one who's got the faulty disc. My wife has also had a disc replaced, but she was lucky enough not to have the faulty one. So what is actually happening, my disc is actually from here is actually collapsing, and so that can't be like that too much because I put pressure on the nerves, and then you'll just have nothing but problems. It's all right at the moment. My chiropractor says just take as long as possible before you get your neck fused, because when you do it, you're going to lose movement. I've got another mate who's got his neck fused, and he struggles with headaches, can't look up or look down for too long. He got his knee operated on, and now he's going into hospital to get his toe operated on. So we're just sitting there and just comparing notes on what's breaking down. And then I'm just going to have a bit of a whinge, just want to get this off my chest. And the other day I went into my local pizza parlour to go and get a pizza. I order it online, and 2 weeks before a week before I ordered online, I went in there and I said my name, and then I was just sitting there waiting, and then about 5 minutes later I says, oh, what's happening about the pizza? And she goes, oh, it's not ready. And I says, you got the right person? Excuse me. And they said, oh, they had the wrong person, so they brought it out. And then on Saturday night I went in there again, and I said my name. I said, any chance we can sit down? She goes, yeah. She runs off. She's only a young girl, 16 or 17. And waiting again, and I says, my pizza, is it ready? And she goes, your name's Jeremy, isn't it? I said, no, it's not my name at all. And I said, any chance we sit down? And then she comes back out and she puts it in the box, and I said, I asked you if I could put that in, if we can dine in. And she goes, oh, you can't do it online. I said, but I told you that. I said, I told you that the week before. And I don't usually get frustrated, but I was just getting frustrated with things like that, just like I was thinking, how incompetent can you get? And then I forget that how much they're getting paid. So after I have something savoury or pizza, I usually like to get something sweet. So I went to McDonald's, and I ordered an ice cream cone, and she was just absolutely rude. And I got up there and I paid for it, and she goes, just drive on, and just no emotion, just a rude young girl. And I screamed out, you bitch. And I go, what the hell am I doing? Am I a good Christian? I'm not usually, I usually say that sort of stuff. I'm usually pretty composed, but I just couldn't believe how rude she was. And I was just thinking, man, that was so bad of me. I kept blaming her that brought it, but I controlled my emotions, and I should not have got like that. And then when I was driving to the nurse this morning, I put in Google Maps, and it took me to the wrong place. And then I parked over the road, which you had to pay for parking. And then I put it into Google Maps just to walking, and it took me about 300 meters the wrong direction, and then it wouldn't line up where north was. And then I had to go back into a hospital and actually go, where is this place? I don't know where it is, because at the front of the hospital it had no numbers. So I'm trying to look for 98, it had nowhere. So I went into the hospital and I said, I was running about 5 minutes late. And then she gets in, she goes, oh, we don't know where that is. I said, you know, 98? She goes, oh, I don't know where it is. And got the nurse I was supposed to speak to. And then she told me it was over the road in a house, so I had to go over the road. I had to go and get the parking, then finish that parking back up. And when I was driving around, I saw these women just driving really slowly, and then we've got a lot of people from overseas who, I don't know how they got their license, and they were just slowing me down, and I was just getting angrier and angrier. And then I realized I've turned into grumpy old men, and I used to wonder why they used to have that saying, a grumpy old men. They even made a movie about it. And it's got me thinking, I'm not actually appreciating what I've got, because I reckon 100 dead people would love to have the day I had today. And it wasn't even bad. I was just running a couple minutes late. The nurse was lovely. She was really helpful what I need to do, and I wasn't appreciating my life. I wasn't appreciating that I've got an opportunity of getting a pizza. I've got an opportunity of getting an ice cream. I've got an opportunity to whinge about my knee. I've got an opportunity to say, why am I those 1 in 3 who had the faulty disc? But where I'm sitting right now, and this is just coincidental, on this chair, I don't know if the bench, is a male and a female who's passed away, and they've dedicated this bench to him, looking over the Swan River in WA. It's an absolute marvellous day. And then to my right of me, I don't know if you can see that on the ground, is another little plaque of another person who used to sit up here, and they were born in 75, so 4 years after me. So they passed away 4 years ago, so they weren't even old. And I'm whinging and not appreciating the blue skies, the butterflies are going past, seagulls, people fishing, and I go, what am I whinging about? Why am I turning to that grumpy old man? Because there's so many people who would appreciate living in Australia, living in Perth. There's no wars here. We might be paying a little bit more for fuel. We might be paying a little bit more for food, but we've got no air sirens. I was specifically born in the best time on earth, I reckon. Born in the early 70s, I got to appreciate Australia before the internet, when we were all as one, and I've been able to appreciate the internet, which has made the world a smaller place. I've been able to travel a lot. So sometimes I need a reality check, and this good doing these videos once a week is the old saying, someone told me years ago, the old saying is 100 dead people love to have your worst day. And I think that's a great saying. I do appreciate if you do like these videos. I'm getting quite a few subscribers and comments, which I absolutely love. I love corresponding with people, so if you have any questions to ask me, go ahead. But if you do like the video, I would like if you did like it and subscribe, and tell me about yourself when you realise you're getting old. I just don't want us to be grumpy. But the good thing about being a grumpy old man is I got to that age where I could be a grumpy old man, where there's a lot of people who hasn't survived to be old. And I've got nothing to whinge about, and I should be appreciating what's actually God's given us. We've got a beautiful life. And sometimes we just need a reality check, and I got a reality check today, sitting on this bench where 2 people have passed away. They can't share this experience I'm going through today. All right, take care, and like I always say, if you can't be anything, be kind. Bye.